be here. Okay.
Me neither. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Joanne.
Oh
Oh,
my word, it's been so many years.
yes, yes. I've been back from Trinidad since '08, so that's like 18 years. I can't believe.
18 years,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But was it in 2016 that you and Steve, your late husband, you represented Sally's Way at the film festival? What year was
Oh,
that? Do
yeah.
you remember? What year
I
was
still
that?
have oh, yes, that was wonderful. Yeah, we
Yeah,
went there. We saw that.
I think that was 2016 or
Yeah,
2017 thereabouts. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So you were saying when we were chatting a little while ago, you were saying that maybe you'll show us some of your works in progress, or you'll show us
Well,
something.
I,
Yeah.
I at some point in time, I'd be glad to kind of film the a circle of my studio here so
Oh,
people
that would be
going.
awesome.
Yeah, I'd be glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, your work has just I'm always you must see that I'm quite a fan.
Yeah, I have.
Your work just moves me so deeply. In its final product, yes, but I always wonder about your process because it's just remarkable what you're doing. Um, can you sort of drop me into that process a little bit, how that works for you? I mean, I've listened to your other interviews, I've read some of interviews and stuff, but drop me into your process, how that works for you.
Well, I'm compelled to tell stories of people that are ignored, demeaned, dismissed, disenfranchised, just made invisible. Um, and so I work from photographs, either photos I take when I travel or photos that I see elsewhere, and I'll get permission from the photographer to use it in some way, shape, or form. And working from a photograph, then I create a color pencil drawing, a large size, kind of maybe 1824, where the essence or the specificness of that photograph is the story I want to tell. Um, and then from that, I take that color pencil drawing to the printers and have them enlarge it in black and white to the final size I want the piece to be. So it may be 4 foot by 5 foot. So now I have this large black and white image that then now I cut out all the shapes within that, and those become my quote pattern pieces, my templates that I place on white fabric, cut out that shape, and I paint each individual piece to match the area that is on that color drawing and photograph. Then once they're all painted, then I start assembling them and put them together, and then stitch. The stitching takes the longest part. The drawing's probably about a week. The painting is probably a good month, and I'm working 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week because I love
And
work.
months, sometimes months on one piece, right?
Oh, well, the stitching will take easily 4, 5, 6 months in and of itself. So most of
Right.
the pieces range from 5 to 6, 7 months from start to finish. And I just am focused on it every day.
I'm hearing you talk through the steps. I understand the English and of what you're saying, but it's really remarkable because when you look at one of your finished works, when I look at one of your finished works, it looks like somebody sat with a canvas and painted. And to realize that you have gone through all these steps, all this minutia of detail and layering and the complexity, and come out with this very refined, fine art.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, furthest thing from the word quilting that you imagine when you first hear the word quilt, which is lovely and cozy, but more crafty, not this fine art.
Yeah. And I avoid using the word quilt because to
Mm.
the uninitiated to what I do, if somebody hears that word, they think, oh, cozy, wrap up on my couch and, on
Patchwork.
my, and that's why I call them stitched paintings because every square inch is painted. I've always been an artist from childhood on, drawing and painting. And I always sewed all my clothes from childhood on. It wasn't until I returned to the States that I saw what I learned were called art quilts. And I thought, oh my God, that's the two favorite things in my life together in one medium, painting and stitching. So I went home and taught myself to do what I do. Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. And
Yeah.
the storytelling that you do, because as a writer, that's what appeals to me in art and artists and artwork. There's either a character, a story. Also, you talked a lot about scale, that you love to work big, and it was making me think of these grand tapestries that you had to be a lord or a lady and have a great hall in a castle.
Yeah.
But you talked about needing to give scale to these people that you want to honor. Talk a little bit about that, because that is such a beautiful artist statement, really.
Well, again, respecting and acknowledging and honoring all the people in the world that in certainly our culture, and I know many cultures, if you're different, you're less than. And that just has hurt me from childhood on.
Mm,
I was aware of that. Living in San Diego, where there's a huge influx of the Latin and Mexican culture there, um, our family had a real close connection to Tijuana in
yeah.
Mexico. So uh, people different from me were the same as me. Because I
Beautifully
grew up
said.
with that. Yeah.
Beautifully
So,
said.
yeah. So when I see, our culture and this country and many countries have seem to have an unlimited capacity for inhumanity.
Mm,
And I want to be the antidote to that somehow and bring forward and give grace to people that haven't been given that. And to do any of the people that I do in a small scale makes them diminutive again.
right.
And
Also puts them back in a box,
yeah,
symbolically, right? A
where
frame or a
where
box.
where they have been placed by
Yeah.
other people in the world. And no,
Yes.
I want them to have the grandeur of scale and to say,
Mm,
I'm here.
mm.
Yeah, I
And to take up space.
yeah, I deserve to take up space on the
Mm,
planet. And so that's what I want to do for
yeah.
people. And if people can see the humanity that we share by looking at my work, then perhaps we'll learn to care about people who are different than us.
Mm,
That's my mantra.
yeah. Yeah.
So scale is important for that. They're
Yes.
they're hard to walk into a museum or a gallery because of their size and not stop and pay attention.
Mm,
And when I just had a solo exhibit at a museum in Denver area, and I was there for the opening. And I don't do my work with the awareness while I'm doing it that what are other people going to think? No. Yeah, it's
mm,
um, but when I experience people experiencing my work, and it's not uncommon when I see just little tears coming down their face, I melt. I
yeah.
melt
Yeah.
because that person, and I'm pointing like this because I've got quilts all around me here, with people. That that person is speaking to that
Yeah.
viewer, and it's like, oh, yes, thank you,
I think
thank
that's a great description for how I feel when I look at your work. I melt. Something softens inside.
you.
And the other word that comes up is devotion.
Mm,
There's a sense of devotion in
mm,
it. Do
mhm.
you have works that you can't let go of, that you've decided to keep for yourself, or have you been
Oh
able
yeah,
to?
oh yeah. Yeah, there's some
Um,
I will always keep to myself. Yeah. Um,
mm.
yeah, yeah, there just are. And yeah, I have favorites and then I have passionate loves and yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I have sold a handful. Um, and when I look at my list, I, I have a flow chart list of my work. It's like, oh, that one's gone. Oh yeah, I sold. Oh yeah, I don't have that one anymore. And there's a sadness to that, but it's okay. Yeah,
Parting is such sweet sorrow.
yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's so many parallels because the narrative storytelling that you're doing, also the scale of a story
Hmm.
can change, and yet you zoom in on these details. It's very local, it's not symbolic, it's very specific to the
Hmm.
person, and it always seems to be about people, humans.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not really like landscape
No,
or typically those things are there as part of the story, if at all.
maybe. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They may be in a landscape, they may be in a setting, minimal, um,
yeah.
but no, this is the human story, and that's
Right.
who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, for the amount of time I put into something, number one, it has to grab my heart and soul in such a way that it won't let go. And
Mm,
that is what propels me every day. That's one of the reasons, and a landscape doesn't grab my heart and soul that way. But that's
right,
also one of the reasons that I don't do commission work
right.
because it's belongs to somebody else's life and stuff. It,
Yeah.
it,
It's sort
it,
of dictated
yeah,
externally.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, it has to be so deep in there that I don't hesitate grinding through the laborious work it takes
Mhm.
because I have that color pencil drawing in front of me, which I have right now with the piece I'm working on. I know where I'm going.
Right. And so this is the idea in writing. You're either a plotter or a pantser.
I'm a
You are
plot.
clearly a plotter. Tell
Yeah,
us a little bit
yeah,
about that because having somewhere to go, having a map, a design, a plan, can work. Yeah, really work creatively as well. Talk
yeah.
about that process.
Yeah, I'm one of those artists that needs to know where I'm going before I touch fabric, paper, pencil, anything. Yeah. Um, and simultaneously, I will see a story concept in my head for months as
Mm,
it's germinating. And I have another one germinating now that's part of a series I'm working on while I'm just at the forefront of the stitching phase of this new piece here. Um, so there is that germination that goes on, and then it's I start seeing an image take place,
mm.
and then start drawing out photographs, and I look for things that tell the story, and then yeah. So I have that my my finished pencil drawing that becomes what my art quilt stitch painting is going to be. Um, that's where all the quote inspiration takes place physically.
Right.
Yeah, it took place inside here, and
Yeah.
then it took place on something tangible and concrete. And now I do what I call a reverse engineering.
Yes.
Here's the finished piece. Now I have to take it apart and rebuild it
Mm.
from
And
scratch.
that's where you're the maker and the craftsperson to some
Yeah,
degree.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there are a myriad of small details in each step along the way that I talked about in
Yeah.
30 seconds before, but a myriad of detail steps that take
Yeah.
a lot of time.
And this is it. You said you at the core, it's your time. And we were
Right.
talking because what you're describing, that is such a privilege to have time, to invest time, to gift yourself and others with time. And we seldom don't talk about it or think of it that way. And what you're describing very much depends on a lot of, I would say, time and space to think. You talked about germinating an idea. Sometimes when I'm talking to other creatives or writers in particular, they feel flooded with too many ideas. They don't know which one to pick. And I think it's a symptom of everything is so instant, everything is so cramped, there's so much busyness and activity, and there's not enough of this space and time to allow for things. When you were talking, it almost sounded like the old process of developing a photo. You know, when you saw people in the room, they turn on the red light. And it sounds like that's going on in here for you. And that was a long, slow, and you can't disturb. Otherwise, the person has to start over. And you told me that you protect your studio time and space. What was the word you used?
Oh,
Fiercely, jealously.
fear. Yes, yes, that's a good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I do. Yeah.
Mm.
And you had asked me, what do I say no to and how do I discern? All the friends that I've made here, I've been in this town, which I love and adore. It is the calmest, peaceful sense of community, no hush, no rush at anything. But all my friends that I've met know that I'm not available during the day. I'm not. They know I'm committed to my studio time because I have work to do, because
Mm.
time is so fleeting and I cannot disrespect it. And I cannot disrespect myself.
Mm.
And the time is this concept where it's abstract and infinite on one hand, but within the human story, it is finite.
Yes.
And having lost, my husband, it's like it's finite. And
Mm.
I know it is for me as well. And you. I mean, that's the human
Yeah,
condition and
that's
story.
just our reality.
It's
Yeah.
just the reality. And I live with that every day in many ways, not morbidly, but
Mm.
in protecting and choosing how I am going to honor time. And uh, that's where I need another lifetime because there's so much I want to do. Yeah, so I get up, I walk for an hour in the morning. I come home, have breakfast, and I'm at work by 10
Mm.
easily. And,
Mm.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, sometimes these days, now that it's getting lighter later, I just keep working. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
6. Uh,
And you know, because what I'm hearing too is that you are being inwardly motivated. There's a real enthusiasm. And yet you've described what is can be a bit of a dog work as well.
it
But
is.
you're happy to move through those stages
Oh,
because you're so inwardly motivated. And I'm really curious as to when you came into that fullness. It's so inspiring. You articulate it so clearly. It's evident that you are walking the talk and live it because your work shows that evidence in spades and then some. I'm curious about, were you always like this, or did you have an aha moment? Did you grow into it?
no, I've always been disciplined with my time.
Right. With
Always.
your art?
Um, my art took kind of a lot of different roads. I was always an artist as a child and went to Otis Art Institute in Los Angeles and got a BFA and an MFA and taught art for a while in a school. Then I got married and I
Mm.
was working for an art company because I felt I needed to make money. And I'm not a promoter because then I'm not an artist. To me,
Right.
I
Right.
need a wife or a secretary to do that. But I whoop, kind of thought I turned off my phone. Decline that.
That's
There we
okay. Yeah.
go.
Real life happening.
Yeah. So when I got married and had a child, and I was 38 when she was born, so part of that, I had worked with an art company because I could have my fingers in art and make some money. But then when I became a mother, I really said, okay, I'm 38. I'm going to have one opportunity to spend
Mm.
time trying to figure out what it means to mother a child. Because who knows what?
Yes, which is an
And
art in itself.
yeah, yeah. So I pulled back from doing much art at all. I always sewed things. I made the clothes and the pillows and the curtains and the whatever, you know. But the art was kind of on the back burner. And I always knew that at some point in time, my life would change in a way that I could return to doing it. I didn't know what form it would take uh,
Mm.
until as I said, I came back to the States and saw what I learned was an art quilt and went, aha, that's what I'm supposed to do with the rest of my life. Literally, those were the words that I said to myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
You heard
And
them and you honored them.
yep, I said, oh, okay, that's it. That's why I came back, so that now is that time. But I was
Mm.
always a disciplined worker. My parents
Right.
taught me that. And yeah,
And what does that discipline look like for you? How do you set things up to win in that regard?
how do I set things up to win? Well, I say no a lot to other things.
Right. So you're saying no a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then you look really organized there behind you. Your
Oh,
workspace looks beautifully organized. You want to give us a 360 if you feel?
sure, sure. I can turn the camera around here. Let me do that. Let's see. How do I need to hit something here where it turns around. Come on.
Or you could maybe just do, I don't know if it'll do it like a phone. Not really sure how Zoom will work unless you're on your mobile.
Oh,
But you
here.
could just
Wait, here I found it. Hang on.
found it, yeah.
Yep, look, come on back. I saw you here for a moment. Something came. Okay, let me come. This should be. Oh, where did that? Well, okay, I'm gonna have to. I
Just
don't
hold
know.
it in, yeah, just hold it and
Yeah,
give
can.
us a
Okay, so
manual.
here is
Wow.
my thread wall, which is right next to my big machine. So I have a large machine that has an 18-inch throat, so I can get large uh, fabrics under there. And here's where I am. I don't know if you can see this. What's happening? What is showing up here? Are you seeing blue threads?
Yeah, I'm seeing lots of shades of blue,
Yeah,
hues
so
of blue.
yeah, because right now I'm doing a big blue area. So these are, so I
Right.
pull out to have right next to my machine what I'm going to be pulling from.
Yes.
And I have
Ah,
another machine underneath this fabric here. So it does other things. So I can just kind of turn around in my chair. And
right.
over here is another work table. These are pieces of the
Oh
quilt that
my
I'm
word.
going to be putting together right now. Um,
Yeah.
I'm doing a series on the life journey from birth to death.
Oh
Okay,
my
there's
word.
there's that time thing. So
Yeah.
here is the background of where that woman will be standing,
Mm.
and I'll show you the drawing. Tell me if you can see this or not. Okay, here's the
Oh my
drawing
God.
of what this piece is going to be. When I was in Peru, last year. Oh my gosh, if there was one roadside memorial, there were hundreds and hundreds everywhere in the country. And I
Right.
thought, oh my gosh, you know, people everywhere mourn loss. And they do it so that, you know, others can be reminded of life by looking at these memorials. So
Mm.
I wanted to tell that story. So um, this is what my next piece is going to be. So I'm working on that. And then, you know, elsewhere in my studio, you can see
Yes.
different,
Other things going on,
yeah, different things going on
yeah.
because
What do you do with the finished? I mean, what do you do with you're calling them drawings, but to me those are full-blown paintings that
Oh, I know.
could be exhibited on their
No,
own. Do you
they're
keep a
just
catalog or?
they're just kind of stored away. Now
Oh,
this is the first one in my series of I don't know where am I at here of
yes, I'm seeing it. From
of
birth to,
birth to wherever. Uh,
um,
we just kind of take that path that circles through our life, and
mm,
this is called Into the Quiet because I don't know where we go. I don't know what
yeah,
happens.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
we man creates theories and philosophies to create answers to questions we don't have answers to. But
Yes.
it's all man-made. It's all man.
It's
So
just remarkable.
so here's some fabrics and yeah, so got different things up there. So I have I
So you have
surround
set up, you've set yourself up for work.
I surround myself
Do you
with
have a
me,
time
like
that
you
you
say.
start? Do you have a rhythm that you start your day with, or
Well, yeah,
what works for you?
yeah, okay. I mean just in general, my
Yeah,
general
just
day.
in terms of your work, you said you were you're full time. You've given yourself full-time employment Monday to Friday, six
Some
hours.
Saturday.
Yeah, or sometimes even Saturday and Sunday.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So how do you get yourself going in the mornings? Do you have a routine?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
take each
I
day as it comes?
no, no.
No, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I get up around 7, have coffee, and kind of read the paper. 8 to 9, I'm out walking, and sometimes with a neighbor friend who's also an artist. So we just talk art
Mm,
the whole time. Come home, have
right,
a shower, and I'm at work by 10. Yeah.
right.
And
And
if
then
I'm
what do you do with the feelings? So do you always feel to work, or are there times when you don't feel to work and you do anyway?
no, well, sometimes, but I do it anyway because I have that finished drawing that
Right.
is telling me I want to exist.
Yeah, yeah.
I want, yeah, yeah.
That's like
So,
the vision. You're holding the vision in that
yeah,
drawing there.
yeah,
I'm wondering what the equivalent could be for a writer. I guess we do. Sometimes I create like a vision board or a mood board,
uh-huh.
of what I think the characters may look like, or the
Yeah,
setting, or music sometimes, and you sort of pull together your
yeah,
inspiration.
yeah.
And
So,
sort of that,
yeah,
and then reverse engineer is what you're saying, right?
yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So by having that, that's like 6 feet away from me, right in front of me the whole time working. And, I may be working on a very small area for hours on my stitching, and it depends
Yes.
what's required. And I know that that little small area is eventually going to
Mm.
be that final story that I
Yeah.
want others to experience. Yeah.
And in your process, when you're attending to that, what's in front of you, are you telling yourself anything about the story, or are you just very present to the piece you're working on?
Very
A lot
present.
of focus.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because this now is all physical labor. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm making hundreds of decisions a day on
Mm.
each area. Do I want the stitching to go this way or that way? I now need to connect this area. I need to connect that area. What's the best way to do it? Do I need to change the color thread? I'm making so many decisions every day. I keep saying, boy, my brain gears are getting greased so much. Yeah, which is good. Keep them
That's
greased.
why you're so youthful, exactly, right? Does a piece ever not fit? Do you ever have to problem solve? Or are you just so accurate and exacting with what you do that you never have those
The
problems?
problem solving takes place when I do the drawing.
Right.
Okay, so that's so I work and there was another. Oh, the one I showed you with the embryo that exploded.
Yes, yeah.
I did 3 drawings because the first
Right.
two, I was like, no, that's not quite right. And the second one, almost. And then, but from those, I figured out what I wanted it to finally look like. So that's where I do all of that work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you are such a master, really, because I think of writers who balk at the idea of rewriting an ending 6 times before they can decide if that's the ending, or scene or jiggling around the chapters. And we're just, especially today with word processing, we're just jiggling digital words on a page, So you really exemplify the old masters
Uh,
working in this sort of modern time, in a contemporary way. And I just find that something worth honoring. I can feel the devotion of it, and it helps me question myself as to how I can deepen my practice with what my art is. And you beautifully said, respect myself. We often don't honor and respect our art. And I wouldn't just say that this is a woman's issue, because I think artists, however we identify gender-wise, artists in general can feel a whole lot of feels. There's a lot of conversation. People message me and talk about the things that sort of the blocks that come up, and it's often to do with self-doubt, fear of what others are going to think, fear of not being good enough, imposter syndrome. And you said when you're working, you don't think of any of that. You're
no,
so focused.
no, no. For better or worse, in my 20s, back in the 60s, with all of the new age stuff that was happening then, there was a phrase that came out that really helped me. Um, and it's kind of cliche-ish, but but it said, what you think of me is none of my business.
What do you think of me is none of my business? Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it freed me
yeah.
from worrying about what somebody would think. I only owed me what I thought about me.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't play into what I do at all. So it's a surprise for me when I experience how people do experience my work, because I only did it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that that person and I have some real human thread.
Connection.
Yeah.
That's something that interests me so much. The way, in this case, I know you, I've met you, but sometimes you're looking at a work of art, you have not met the human,
Mhm.
but yet you feel such a sense of knowing. And you spoke earlier, you said something about knowing. That's what you're going to be working on next. Where does that knowing land in your body? When you feel knowing, what is that? How do you
Uh,
realize that?
when I finally see some kind of imagery that is starting to tell the story, and then I feel it kind of go down into my core.
Hmm.
And every night when I lay my head down on my bed, I'm seeing what I'm working.
So it gets clearer and
Yeah,
clearer.
yeah, yeah. So I see what I'm working on, and I know that the series I'm working on about the human journey from birth to death, that's inevitable for all of us. Um, there's some crises that happened in my family that just kind of added another layer. So I know that that's starting to germinate for the piece after this piece. Yeah, because
Right.
because it's inevitable for all of us. We can't not
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
experience what. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, Linda, thank you for letting me peep into your world behind the curtain of all this beautiful artwork that you do. Fine
Uh,
art, I would say, and it is such a joy. It's inspired and encouraged me so much in my own journey. and I will share it with others. Thank you so much. I'll let others have a peep as well, and hopefully
Oh,
it'll keep others company as well as they make their endless decisions that goes in
yeah.
as we create our art, you know. Do you have anything coming up or anything anywhere that you'd like people to find you online or something that I can share?
Well, I do have my website. I think you have that
Yeah.
information. Um,
Uh-huh.
about a week and a half ago, I had a um, TV show come here for the day and tape and interview me. It was a eight.
Local, San Diego local.
No, I'm in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, you're in Oregon now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought you were right. Ah,
Four years ago. So that's why I say this is a
right.
calm, gentle,
Ah,
human community compared to the
beautiful.
country. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. I wish I'd been here many years before, but they
Yeah.
came to my studio and an 8 hour day for what's going to be a 30-minute event.
Yes.
It's called thequiltshow.com and they show on YouTube, but this will not be shown until maybe September. Um,
Yeah.
so that I'll make a post online when
Yes, please
it's
do.
yeah.
And I'll share.
Um, but other than that, I have a couple of submissions out there for solo exhibits in different places, but I haven't heard back yet.
And
So
you're always winning awards, which are so well deserved.
it's that's just a bonus. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
and it always surprises me because I just have my little horse blinders on and I just do what I do and what I need to do for me.
yeah,
So other people respond in those kinds of ways. It's like, oh, oh,
yeah,
what a gift. So yeah, I don't do it for that. So it's
yeah. That's
love.
cherries on top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, your work is such a blessing as you are. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
You
it.
are a
And
joy. You are just, yes, thank you for reaching
thank
out.
you, Linda. I'm going
Okay.
to stop our recording now.
I I come across words every once in a while that just hit me between the eyes, and I print them out in large letters and stick them around my studio. And my most recent one that I came across was sonder, Sonder, a noun, and it means the sudden realization that every stranger around you has a life as vivid and complex as your own. And then there's a sentence that it's like, oh, like, in a state of sonder, each of us is at once a hero, a supporting cast member, and an extra in overlapping stories.
Wow.
And it's like, oh, that just wrapped itself around me with the people.
That is exquisite.
Isn't that a wonderful word? Yes.
Mhm.
I I have these words and they just kind of talk to me along with the people that I do talk to me.